the Beatles guitarist George Harrison sadly passed away on the 29th of November 2001. George had been battling cancer since 1997, initially diagnosed with throat cancer, which later spread to his lungs and brain. Despite aggressive treatments, his condition deteriorated. Aware of his limited time, George invited Paul and Ringo to New York for a final gathering. On November 12, 2001, Paul McCartney and Ringo Starr gathered with their ailing bandmate, George Harrison, in a Manhattan hotel room. This meeting would be their last collective moment, as George succumbed to cancer just 17 days later. A few years after this meeting, Paul McCartney spoke to Uncut. I sat with him for a few hours when he was in treatment just outside New York. He was about 10 days away from his death, as I recall. We joked about things, just amusing, nutty stuff. It was good. It was like we were dreaming. He was my little baby brother almost, because I'd known him that long. We held hands. It's funny, even at the height of our friendship, as guys, you would never hold hands. It just wasn't a Liverpool thing. But it was lovely. Ringo Starr recounted a particularly touching moment from this meeting. He had mentioned to George that he needed to leave to visit his daughter Lee, who was battling a brain tumor in Boston. Ringo Starr said, "The last weeks of George's life, he was in Switzerland, and I went to see him, and he was very ill, you know. He could only lay down. And while he was being ill and I'd come to see him, I was going to Boston because my daughter had a brain tumor. And I said, well, you know, I've got to go. I've got to go to Boston. It's the last words I heard him say, actually. And he said, do you want me to come with you? Despite his own suffering, George offered to accompany Ringo, showcasing his selflessness and concern for his friend's family. George's doctor, Dr. Lederman, has also spoken about the final meeting with the band members. There were some tears, but there was more laughter than anything else. It was a spirited affair, not a somber one. There were lots of laughs and lots of fun. They spent hours reminiscing. There were tears, but George remained very much the man of dignity. At the end, after both Paul and Ringo had left, George was fine and calm. He was a very happy man. This meeting meant so much to him. George passed away in the home of longtime friend Gavin de Becker, with his wife Olivia and son Donnie by his side. George Harrison's passing marked the end of an era, but the memories of that final gathering remain a poignant reminder of the enduring friendship among the Beatles.